I gotta tell you folks, this 50501 movement is something else. You know, when I first heard about it, I thought, 50501? Is that like the new area code for people who are really upset? But no, it's a whole movement, and they're gearing up for something big. We're talking about nationwide protests against Trump's policies, and they're calling it No King's Day. Now, this 50501 movement, it started small, like most grassroots movements do, you know? A few people getting together, probably in someone's basement, sharing their frustrations over some stale pizza. But then it grew and grew some more. It's like that plant from Little Shop of Horrors. Except instead of eating people, it's eating away at Trump's policies. These folks have been at the center of anti-Trump protests throughout 2025. And let me tell you, they've been busy. It's like they looked at Trump's presidency and said, challenge accepted. They've organized more protests than Trump has played rounds of golf, and that's saying something. So now, they're planning this big shindig for June 14th, 2025. They're calling it No King's Day, which I think is hilarious because, let's face it, if there's one thing Trump would love, it's to be called a king. I can just see him now, sitting in the Oval Office, wondering why he doesn't have a crown yet. You might be thinking, haven't we seen this before? And you'd be right. The 50501 movement has been behind some of the biggest anti-Trump protests we've seen in 2025. Remember that time they organized a nationwide coffee party? Yeah, that was them. Or how about when they got thousands of people to show up outside the White House wearing orange wigs and spray tans? Yep, you guessed it, 50501 again. But, here's where it gets interesting. Some people are starting to ask, is this enough? I mean, don't get me wrong, these protests are great for cardio and sign-making skills. But what about actual change? Some critics are saying the movement needs to step up its game. They're talking about clear demands, better organization, maybe even a catchy jingle. You know, something other than just shouting "No more Trump" over and over again. So, what's next for the 50501 movement? Well, some of their affiliates are suggesting they need to get more organized. You know, like actually having a structure that doesn't just involve showing up and yelling. They're talking about clear demands, democratic decision-making, all that boring stuff that actually gets things done. It's like they're growing up from a rebellious teenager into a responsible adult. But don't worry, I'm sure they'll still find time to make fun protest signs.